Hey everyone, Bob here, and thanks for checking back into the channel. If you own a 6.5 Creedmoor, you do some hunting or some target shooting, and you are looking to possibly save a buck, this might be some content that you want to stick around and follow all the way to the end. So let's get right to the chase. What am I talking about here? Well, today I'm going to do some ammunition testing with some AAC Ammunition, America's Ammunition Company. And what that is a house brand or a house name for Palmetto Arms Ammunition. Now, this is an ammunition company that they acquired, have since changed the name. This AAC meant something else. I'm not going to get into all that. We don't care about that. What we care about is, does this stuff shoot and is it accurate for the price? So what I have is the 140 grain match ammunition that's loaded with 140 grain Sierra Matchking bullet. Now this ammunition sells for about $21 a box for 20 rounds, so just over a buck a round. It's supposed to shoot at 2,700 feet per second, and it's supposed to be accurate. Well, I'm at the indoor gun range. We're gonna isolate some of the environmental, things that could affect this, and this is gonna be kind of a just straightforward, I'm not gonna get too scientific here, test to see how this ammunition does accuracy-wise. On the flip end, back at the gun room, back at home, I'm actually disassembling a bunch of this ammunition and weighing the powder, measuring the overall length of the cartridges for consistency to check and see, hey, how well is this stuff made, along with how accurate does it shoot? So, all right, so kick back. I'm gonna get the rifle set up. I'm gonna squeeze off a few rounds. We're gonna see how this stuff does out of my Badger 2013 6.5 Creedmoor rifle. All right, so as you can tell, and as I mentioned, I'm at an indoor range. And if you look at the little monitor that I got going over my head here, this range system uses the shot spotter system. And if anybody's ever used that, you will agree with me that there are some difficulties when trying to produce precision results. Now, though you guys are looking at a nice target and a bullseye, as I'm aiming downrange, that is not what I see. So when you're aiming with the shot spotter system, what you're aiming at are a pair of green lasers that make a cross. And if you're like me, my eyes find it a little bit difficult to focus on the reticle and a green pair of laser lines. It goes back and forth a little bit. As far as getting precision, it makes it a little bit more difficult. I have already done some shooting and I found that to be a problem. So what I'm gonna try to do here is I'm placing one shot into the backdrop, and what I'm gonna do is aim at that shot as my center point. So as you're looking at the rounds on the monitor, on the target, don't give me a hard time about them not being the bullseye. I'm not going to move things around and make adjustments to my scope for this. What we're looking for is a good pattern and see how tight the group is through this ammunition from AAC. So let me get the rifle all set back up and get some shooting going on. All right, guys, I've got the Badger M2013 all set up with my Arken EP5. You can see the shot spotter in the background. I'm gonna send down a couple groups of 5 rounds and get some information. Now, the shot spotter is pretty neat. This thing will tell us an average of what our velocities are. Now, this is getting the velocity downrange and not at the muzzle, so it's not going to be the 2,700. But what we're gonna look for is see how consistent each round is of this ammunition. So let me get my ears on and do some shooting. guys, I just finished shooting the last 5-round group with this ammunition. Let's take a look at the numbers, let's look at the averages, and let's find out, is this stuff really worth the 21 bucks a box or $1 a round? So let's look at this last group. So here we go. We're looking at the shot spotter here, and this is the last 5 shots that I took. We have an MOA of 0.58 and a standard deviation of 9.7 feet per second for our velocity. Now, this group is a pretty good example of the other 5 shot groups that I took. I was averaging right around anywhere from a 0.5 to a 0.7 MOA with the ammunition. Now, a little caveat here, I gotta pump my brakes a little bit. My aiming is very difficult and handicapped a bit on the shot spotter system. I talked about that a bit in aiming at those green crosshairs. Now, I'm gonna say if I took this ammunition outside, aiming at a traditional bullseye, a target, I think I could tighten these groups up maybe 0.2 MOA or so. So, hey, you decide. Is this ammunition that's shooting 0.5 to 0.7 MOA worth $1 a round? I'm gonna go ahead and say yeah. I'm not sure I would use this ammunition for competition, but shooting with your buddies, plinking, or getting some range time at $1 a round, AAC 6.5 Creedmoor ammunition, hey, I'm gonna give this stuff a thumbs up and say it's good to go. Stay tuned. What I'm gonna do next is get this ammunition on the scale as I pull it apart, check out the powder weights, check out the overall lengths of this stuff, and see if, hey, maybe we can improve it, measuring the ammo a little bit, moving some numbers around, and see what's going on. But at this point, hey, thanks for checking back in. Thanks for following along. Get back out there, do some shooting. See you next time.